The book is called Grown Up Faith, God's Big Picture for a Bigger Life. And I've been asked, what is the big picture of the Bible and how does it give me a better life? Well, when my kids were preschoolers, one of the things that entertained me was how they made decisions. For example, I would take out my pocket change and show it to them. And there could be only 87 cents, but it was shiny. And in my other hand, I could put a $100 bill. And then I would ask, which do you want? And every time they would grab the handful of coins. It was innocent and sincere, but it always made me laugh. Because they thought they were choosing the big money, but we all know they were choosing little money. They didn't understand the big picture of money. They couldn't see that the single $100 bill was 115 times more than the 87 cents. And when you don't see the big picture, you tend to grab for shiny little things. So here's the point. God gave us the Bible so we could know the big picture, so we could join Him in a life that's 115 times better. Otherwise, we end up sincerely choosing an 87-cent life. So what is the one big picture of the Bible? What on earth is God doing? Hey, here's a really fast review, but you'll need the book to make it all come together. It's like your hands. Put your hands out in front of you. The Bible is two parts. The Old Testament is like your right hand, the New Testament like your left hand. And when they come together, they form one story. And so like we're picturing here, there are 5 major events in the Old Testament and 5 in the New. And they are a mirror image one of the other. And where it all begins, it all ends. The first major event in the Old Testament is God and righteous people in paradise. It was perfect, without disease or death. It was sinless. The second major event is Satan and sin enter, and that brings death. We lost paradise and access to the tree of life. The third major event is the world is judged and destroyed, this time by flood. The next major event is a one-world government where we acted like gods unto ourselves, and so God came down and confused the language. The next major event, which covers the majority of the Old Testament, is the Old Covenant. God makes a covenant with Abraham, and through him promises that he'll raise up a great nation, give him a great land, and send the Messiah who will restore us to him and deal with our sin. And that all points to Jesus. Jesus is the turning point, the hinge for all of human history. And it leads to him fulfilling the Old Covenant and bringing the New Covenant. And see, the New Covenant is a mirror image to the Old Covenant. Just as the Old Covenant had the 12 tribes, the nation of Israel, God's holy people, now we have the New Covenant, the 12 disciples, the church, God's holy people. The next major event is a one-world government where now languages come back together and mankind elevates themselves as their own God. And God tells us that's going to lead to the world being judged and destroyed, previously by flood, this time by fire. Then Satan and sin exit. And Satan is judged along with all those who dismissed, rejected Jesus. And it closes with God and redeemed people in paradise. The tree of life, the healing. See, where everything begins, it all ends. God is on purpose. So how would you start living if you knew God's big picture?